think so, for sure, exactly. And he's also going to be saving up a battery and deploying that battery to try to defend as much as possible.
Well, I'll have to mute myself there at the moment. We're not these commentators. I got the wrong screen up. Jeez, I had one job and I've just made it all messed up. Welcome along, everybody, to 2S Formula 1 Season X. Down under. We've gone. We've flown our way. We've turned ourselves upside down. We being myself, Mr. Biggles, and Mr. Tipsy Bob has offered to offer his wonderful services last minute to help out in the commentary box with me. And yeah, go. How was your flight down under, mate? What did you have? The chicken, the beef?
Well, can you hear me okay? Yes?
Yes, I can, sir.
Sorry, because I'm moving my mic. I don't normally fly, okay? I prefer to drive, but it is a long way to drive. You can't actually drive to Australia. So yeah, it was a lovely flight. I'm looking forward to you showing me the sights, Mr. Biggs, to show me what's the main attractions, mostly the bar, being Irish. That's just straight from the bar.
Oh, mate, plenty of fantastic Irish bars in Australia, that's for sure. That's where I usually hang out. At the moment, before we get ready for the qualifying, I'm going to go over those standings that are currently up on the screen there. So Futuristic is currently leading from Lavi and Kurte, I think that is. I'm sorry, it's a little hard for me to read that on the screen, but yes. Kurte, yeah. I'm also just, the destroyer of drivers' names as well, too, especially European drivers' names. So, as we all know, Williams are just a little bit of a handful of points on Alfa Romeo and Red Bull, just hanging in there as well. So it's very, very tight, I'd have to say, when it comes down to that Constructors' Championship. And also the drivers is getting pretty spicy as well. So you know a lot of these names, of course, Mr. Tipsy Bob, as we're going to go down to the track and check out these gladiators doing their qualifying session. It should come up there in a second, hopefully. That's the weather over there. That's not the one that I want.
Yeah, very familiar with pretty much, just looking down here. Pretty much everyone, yes. There's actually, hold on a minute. There's a good Northern Irish expression. Hold on a minute. There's two drivers I have not seen. Oh, excuse me. Not very professional. Pickuping on the mic. Number 13, Nico Deschamps. Don't know who that is. And number 4, Menavo de Beaver. Yes, they are an unknown quantity to me. But for everyone else here, yes, I am happy to say I'm very familiar. Also, can I just go back on something that we were mentioning at the start, Biggs? Interesting fact, believe it or not, being Irish, I don't drink alcohol.
Oh, really?
Can you can you believe that?
I can't. But that's good. That's good. You know, I do have a lot of friends these days that just don't want to drink anymore. They're like, nah.
Cup of tea, man, is all I need. Or a wee glass of orange juice, there's wee juice.
it's kind of good, I think, to get out of that, that old, like, tradition, you got to drink and stuff like that. Not now, not modern. There's a lot of younger people, and you guys out there too, obviously, chat. If you get of age to drink and stuff like that, don't be forced into drink because everybody's doing it. Do it if you want to, but don't. Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
I just seen derogatory pineapple spawn literally.
And there's and I'm board with Mino as well to the AlphaTauri. He's the first one. Now this is it. That is called the Foster's Wall right there. Ooh. You did not know that one, did you, Tipsy Bob?
No, I didn't.
No, it's because in this game specifically, people spin out of turn 11, Lakeside Drive, 10 and 11, and they hit the Foster's Wall. And I've coined it the Foster's Wall because that's what happens if you drink and drive.
Oh.
So, yeah, they got the Wall of Champions in Canada and stuff like that. That is the Foster's Wall, and we should be named the Foster's Wall. Obviously, I don't think they sponsor Formula One anymore. I don't think alcohol. Well, Heineken does. But, yeah, I mean, it's just don't drink and drive, boys and girls, or you'll hit that wall. There you go.
Well, in saying that, Merlin got that update from yourself a little bit too late because he's gone. He's buried his car into the wall. He's already out before it even began. And I'll tell you one thing, Biggs, right? I've done a wee bit of running here in Australia, and I normally love this track. It's just a fantastic track to drive on. But this year's game, or as people like to make fun how I say game, okay, but this game is really difficult. You can spin at every single corner, and like throughout this entire game, the curbs are deadly. I found myself specifically, this track, this season, and this game is very difficult.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from some drivers for sure. Let's see, how about your boy, Mr. Ocean Chief? Bang, P6 in the Alpine.
Yeah, so Chief's sitting in now a 23.5. I know for a fact he can do a 22. He can do a high 22, so definitely room for improvement. And I know Mr. Icewind down here currently on mediums, P19. He can do, I believe, a 21, what was it, a 21.6 I think he did in practice on softs. Yeah, so there's going to be some quick times here, Biggs, but it's not just about that. It's one, keeping it on track. First of all, that's the first thing, because it is so easy to spin here, and also trying not to invalidate. Two things is very easy to do in this track: spin and invalidate.
Spin and invalidate. Where is the key invalidate? I guess it turns 1 and 2, right? Like Jones and Brabham is probably a key invalidation point if you don't spot the apexes correctly.
It can be. I generally didn't find it was there. For me, it would be more, do you know the fast, I think that's where you said the Frost's Wall, that fast right, or sorry, the fast left right, because you want to take a little bit of curve, obviously, to straighten the corner out as best you can, but you run the risk of invalidating. But then if you take too much, as we've seen, you're going to end up on the wall. So for me, I would say it's that corner.
Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense as well, for sure, because of the high speed through Lakeside Drive. And of course, they're improving that corner before that, which is Clark, turn 9. So they're this year in the actual real track, of course, they're extending that. Hopefully get to go there, of course, because Australia's also going through the whole pandemic BS all over again, like the rest of the world. So that's going to be very interesting, as we're seeing Yami's on board that with, at the moment, go fastest of everybody on the soft tyres, a 121.3 on Yami's dial. That's his steering wheel, of course.
That's a very good time, man, that Yami's done. But one guy I'm keeping a wee eye on here is Icewind in the Ferrari P7.
Yep.
Looks like he's coming around for another run on those mediums. If you could just stick.
He's going slower, but I think he's going to box.
No.
Yeah,
he's going to box, so never mind that.
Going down to his teammate there, Nico Bishu. He's flying through. He got through the fastest wall safely, so he's okay. He's going to come down to this little sharp bend of Ascari, turn 13. And then you've got the old Stewart, turn 14. This one you can go a lot faster with. That's a nice feeling to get that one right. And then you've got the heavy braking zone, the slowest corner. Senna. And of course, what happens after Senna? You get Prost, of course. And that's 10-16. Will cost him a bit of time, wouldn't it? But he kept it. So, I'm keeping my voice. The Ferrari driver will go up into crossing the line now. P11 mediums.
It was just that running deep, man, and then a little bit of the oversteer to kind of try to overcorrect. Oh, he's running really wide. Oh my goodness! Oh. He's really pushing on this out lap, or sorry, this in lap. So he's probably trying to get back in time. He doesn't realize he's got plenty of time. He's way off track. What's going on here?
I just switched back to Joel there for a second. Mr. Joel 8, as he's approaching the final couple of quarters, of course, is Senna. And he's setting his first time for this evening straight onto the softs. The Red Bull driver not messing around. Let's see what sort of time he can do. I didn't see any purples, but bang. Ooh. P2. That's not bad there. About 0.6 of a second off Yami's really good time that you mentioned. But
that's going to be a hard time to beat, Biggs.
Yeah. Well, you think so? Yeah.
I think that'll be tricky.
It's Melbourne weather too, mate. Anything can happen. Melbourne's called 4 seasons in one, this city, because the thing is, because it's so low, obviously in Australia, it's one of the most southern cities outside of Tasmania. Mm-hmm. That's on a separate island. But it gets 4 seasons in one because I'm Furious goes up in a P2. Because of the fact that you get these cold Arctic winds that come up sometimes. You can have the westerlies that blow in that are hot from the outback and northerlies, and then, of course, east. And so there you could be like flip-flops, tank top shirt, shorts in the morning or something. And then in the afternoon, it could be freezing cold because of the way it comes in. It's a very strange place like that.
Do you know, I have a distant well, not a distant, I have a family connection to Melbourne.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes. So this is a bit of a wee story, if I can quickly get it out while we're waiting for these times coming in. Well, a long time ago, whenever I was just an infant, so I'm old, I would have been around about 4 or 5 years old. That would have been very late 80s, early 90s. My uncle left Ireland and moved to Melbourne, and he started up a family in Melbourne. And I have never seen him again since. I have cousins living out there. My uncle's living out there, his wife. I don't know them. It's a pity. They could be watching right now.
Yeah. Well, you'll maybe get down there one day. Jump on one of those boats.
His name's Patrick, but we called him Patsy. So if anyone knows Patsy that left Ireland way back in the early 90s, hit me up.
Okay. I'll look him up next time I'm down in Melbourne.
I'm serious, it's true. It's true story, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I know actually a lot of Irish actually in Australia as well. I grew up with a couple of Irish friends. As that one says, I am provisionally number 1, 121.7, and that's just 0.2 off of Yami's really good time that you said. So these guys are getting pretty close to the low 21s here in Australia, in the outback. Are they cooking up some barbecue, you think?
I don't know, man, but these times are looking good. I tell you, there's somebody else that hasn't said a proper time yet that I didn't even realize was here. Monsieur Justin.
Yeah,
Frenchie,
he's on a flyer.
Very, very quick driver. Was in contention of winning Brazil Tier 1 in SLR. He lost out to P4. I tell you what, one thing, Biggs, given the nature of this track, certainly with the curbs, and also the fact that we've got almost a full grid, I don't want to have to say it, but we're just going to have to address it. The likelihood of a safety car here, I believe, based on what I've seen so far, will be pretty high.
Yes, I would have to agree with that one, of course. Yeah, it's especially into that first turn, Jones and Brabham, of course, and then if you manage to survive through there, you got to go around the Sports Centre. You got Hallis of Woodford. That's the other turns. I think Yami now wants to respond, my friend. He's like, he did not like that one stealing his provisional one, and we're going board with the Mercedes. There's a little hot lap graphic, and let's see how he handles Lakeside Drive. This is beautiful. I've walked around this track. I've visited this track a few times. There's some really good locations. See who gets through here. It's got a bit of traffic up here. Could get a tow from Jojo. Goes into the Foster's wall, but near it, not into it. But
he's up by a 10th.
Yeah, Yami's middle sector's just a little bit probably as slower than what he wants. But what do you reckon? We're on board with him? How's this feel?
Yeah, just going through sector 2, he's really on the limit. He's pushing it. This corner is pivotal, this final one. He runs a bit deep. That could be costly. All depends on how early you get on the throttle. DRS activated. He was up by a 10th. Not enough to beat the time completely, but let's see. And he does do it. He must have gained quite a bit in that last little bit of a sector to get enough to jump that one. But of course, that one still has time. He still has time, Biggs, to get another lap in. And of course, Icewind's still here. Icewind's coming into pit. He might get another run. We're still waiting what Justin can do as well. We got a lot of quick guys here. Snelle, can stick in a good time. Fox can stick in it. Furious, all these guys, I think they've got a good few more tenths left in them. So although that low 21-1, or say 21-2, you may say is more closer, is a really difficult time to beat. There are a number of guys here, Biggs, that can definitely beat it. Icewind is a standout fella for me, and also Justin. Justin should never be discounted.
Keep an eye on the Beaver, mate. Fear the Beaver. The Aston Martin driver just set the fastest middle sector, very good first sector, and he's now into the third sector. It's something. There's a sector somewhere in here. Can he nail them all? It's going to be looking good, mate. This is right up the top of the timesheets. Will he beat Yami?
Here we go.
This is. Oh, that was skidded by the skin of your teeth. Or what is it? That was a good time. Unless
Mino is a different name or somebody I do know, I don't recognize the name, but that is a welcome addition to the league. That is a good time. I wonder if there's that Owen.
We lost Agfar into Clark turn 9. I don't know if I can go to where is that driver that's coming around now? I can't quite see who that is. Is it I'm Furious? No. Anyway, it's gone. Marshall's look pretty good here, Australia.
So, I Am Furious is going to come around and start his lap. He'll be one to watch, and then not too far behind him will be Icewind. I think these are the two main guys to keep an eye on, as well as Justin. Justin's still sitting in the pit, so he's probably going to go for one late run, which is risky. So here we go. I Am Furious. I'm going to run on board with Biggs first.
Yep, we're on board with him right now, exactly. Let's go. You give us a hot lap.
Oh, flip, that's going to be on the spot. Right, hot lap, just after the black box, or a good bit after the black box, dropping down to the fourth. Oh, that's a little... This is slow. Has he backed out? This is really slow. What's going on here?
Yeah, he's not using any battery. He must have backed out. So who should we go to next? He's allowing the Chief through as well. As well as something I was going to tell you, mate. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 2S, but Futuristic and Snelly Hankey work together in that Alfa Romeo. Does that kind of remind you of the SLR T4 league?
Snelly Hankey and Chief, yeah, they would work together.
So they work together as Chief, but Chief's in a different team. Snelly's got his other team, but Snelly works with Futuristic just like he works with Chief in the Tier 4. So you'll see that tonight. Those guys, I don't know, just the Alfa Romeo general team in both of these leagues. They work really well. You got to be very careful. They know their stuff.
In Tier 1 as well, me and Chief are teammates, and we work together. We were working together last week, but unfortunately it wasn't really for much points. But I'm just on board with Icewind. He's on his main lap. He's really pushing it. He's just going about to finish Sector 1. He is up almost 2 tenths. 4-3-2. So he's currently, as it stands...
He's invalidated, but mate, unfortunately.
He has.
Yep.
So Ice is out.
Ice is out.
Ice is out. Who else would that? Where's Justin?
Okay,
so Justin...
Keep an eye on
Justin's about to start.
A couple other drivers. I think at P10's out. Lavi's on a flyer, but we'll see if he can get the house up into the top 10.
Justin's just crossed the line. He's starting his lap. I think this will be one of the main guys to watch, Biggs, for this poll.
We will. We'll go back in a second. I just want to see if Lavi's middle sector wasn't very good. So, yeah, we'll probably go back to Justin, that racer, P14, and the Red Bull, and we're on board with him right now.
Okay. Tricky wee section, this. These curbs are brutal. Some guys, flat out, not the flat out. That's the decision. He does go pretty much flat out. Sector 1, he's up by almost half a second. Now, that sounds impressive, but his time is slow. His first time, so that's to be expected. He's got a couple of bit of traffic up ahead. Yellows are flashing as well. Shouldn't interfere with him whatsoever. He gets very twitchy. We got an Alpine very slow. The Alpine needs to back out. Oh, Justin will not appreciate this. The one, he's getting a little bit of a toe.
Yeah, he is getting it. That worked out brilliantly. He's got another toe as well. He could make it up there from that mistake. From a double toe in Australia, as that the great southern sunset is setting here in Melbourne.
This corner, man, is such an important corner, and Justin nails it. Does he nail the exit? Flat on the power, DRS activated. This is going to be a pretty good time. It's going to be pretty contentious for number 1. Oh, it doesn't. So he must have lost out quite a bit there in that middle sector with that traffic.
Yeah, you got to be really careful, mate, because the telemetry information you get as a spectator, or something's off into the background, into the wall there behind him, is it showed him 2 tenths down on the first sector with the telemetry graph, the stuff that I have. So as a spectator, because you're generally not commentating all the time, it's different than what the drivers see. So if it shows a purple and stuff like that, it's not actually accurate, fortunately.
Okay.
Ocean Chief, we'll go on board with your man, the country man, the Northern Irishman, Skur, as he goes through a lakeside drive and gets through this tricky section, as you said. Keeps it out of Foster's wall, doesn't invalidate. Improved on his first sector. Second sector wasn't so good. Go ahead.
And he is up, Biggs, as well. He's up by about 10th and a half. He could maybe improve a bit more, maybe up to 2 tenths. What's that? 6.54. He could probably slot in. He's probably going to slot in around P14. Don't think he has enough to challenge Futuristic. I may be surprised, but I reckon he'll slot into P14. See? Oh, he does. He just jumps Futuristic.
Oh, he does. Sorry, I jumped back there for the second for another driver that was that one that was going fast, but he's invalidated. But Yami's gone even quicker. A little bit of traffic. Final couple of corners, Center and Prost. I don't think it inherited. He's got purple sector 1, purple sector 2. He's going to increase. This could be late 20s. This could be the 20s.
Wow.
He has done it. He has done it. He has smashed it. Half a second quicker than everybody else in Australia right now. What a time.
Well, there's a statement Big setting down for everyone else. It reminds me of that time. I can't remember what track it was. It was when Schumacher was going and he set like 1 lap, quali lap, and it was remarkably fast. And then what do you call him? Juan Pablo Montoya was out and he was just doing lap after lap after lap to try and beat it. And then just when he got close, Schumacher went out and completely beat his own time again, really humiliating people. That's almost what Jami did there.
He did.
He's got really close.
He's done the Schumacher. That's what it is. Yeah. He's done the Schumacher on. But B, that Menno's done a fantastic job, and guys out there were chatting. Thank you. I am reading that chat. Sorry, it's just been so exciting, hasn't it? Mino is the one to look out for, as Vito and PC said. But Billy master plan, by the way. Anyway, that man has done it, and he's just not done it, as you mentioned. He's Schumachered them. He's smashed it half a second quicker than everybody else.
That's a mega. But if he can get a clear run down to turn 1, he with that kind of like one lap pace, if he can carry that over to the race, man, this is going to be, of course, if there's no safety cars, which is highly unlikely that we're not going to see at least one. If there isn't, then Jami's going to run away with this.
It's quite part. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. 2 drivers not setting a time there, Tilte and Mergen. We have a 5 grid penalty for George Ionides. So yeah, look out for that front row. If he can get away up the road, and what are you suggesting? The tires? I think they are all going to be on softs on the top 10. What about tire strategy, mate? As we're going to get ready to load into the race.
So it should be a soft medium, as I'm choking here. For me personally, Biggs, I think I've said this in the previous stream, I avoid the hards like the bubonic plague.
Yes, I say that. I say that all the time. Sorry, yeah. I say this when I'm commentating other leagues and stuff. I'm like, I know a few drivers out there that you couldn't pay them enough money to put hard tires on.
Absolutely not. And I think this is one track, definitely, it just does not pay to put the hards on. It'll definitely be a soft medium, roughly. You're looking an early, let's say anywhere from lap 10 is where you're kind of looking at the pit. You don't want to run them too deep, 10, 11, something like that. And then you get to the mediums. Of course, Biggs, that all is dependent, of course, if there's no safety cars. The safety cars are playing a massive role in this year's game in terms of the league races.
They will.
Sometimes there's too many, sometimes surprisingly there's none at all.
I'm just going to grab myself a drink real quick as we go through that list there, and Justin was saying soft medium box anywhere between lap 10 and 12 there as well. He's agreeing with you. 1 second, let me get a drink.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I can see Owen is in chat. Is Owen racing? I would like to know, Owen, are you racing? You would get me know in chat. Because I have a feeling that might be Menno de Beaver. If Menno de Beaver is a new addition, then hey, welcome aboard. And Neko Dishu as well, another welcome addition. This is great. I've got the stream all to myself. I can start telling these little stories. See, we want to keep the viewers, so I won't do that. Anyway, I do expect, ladies and gentlemen, fellow humans, that we're definitely going to get a safety car.
Yeah, you're right.
I would.
know.
Oh, welcome back, Prix.
Yeah. I'm going to drive it. I'm getting fired up, my friend, right now. I'm going to be out there after the safety car. No, you're right. It would be a safety car. But when? Yeah, out there, guys, in the YouTube world. When do you?
No.
If you agree, obviously, with Tipsy Bob, I hope you do. Man's been around a while. He knows. When do you think a safety car will be? That's more the key.
I was going to say I reckon there might be multiple safety cars and there might be early. When I see Speedy saying something and it just makes my blood boil. Oh, and it's a wrong time to get into it. I am going to, as they say up in Derry, I'm going to name and shame a driver. Mr. Futuristic. Okay, I'm just going to try and speak quietly because I'm going close here. Mr. Futuristic makes tea in the microwave.
Ooh. That could be.
Isn't that such a bad take?
Yeah,
in the microwave.
Well, it's just heating molecules. Guess what, my friend? I know you were a little tired, but you can be a little. You have to do the restart. That's just how it works. That's how it rolls. Down here in Australia as well. Otherwise, I'm not firing up the barbecue for you later.
Well, look, anyone's listening, forgive me. I had a very extensive VR session with much younger people than me, and I nearly died of a heart attack. So I'll give it a go, but I might struggle. I'll give it a go. I might scream as well. Here we go. So the lights are lighting up at Melbourne, and it should be correlated perfectly. And off we go. The Mercedes leads the way. The pack. Jammy does indeed lead the pack. He gets a good launch off the line, and everyone is slotting now nicely into place under the racing line. We're seemingly getting a reasonably clean start so far, looking down the grid. Yes, the places are switching left, right, and centre, but Jammy is. Oh, we got a yellow already. Who's that off? Someone's off in the background. I'm not sure who that is. I'll keep on. Oh, but who's this here? It's the McLaren of derogatory pineapple wheel banging with the Red Bull of Joel, demanding that place. Further back, we've got the Ferrari of Nico Dishu kind of sending it on two drivers. Oh, Tilda's around. The Alpine driver is around. He gets caught out on those notorious curbs. Did I see someone else? No, it is still just Tilda. Moving further back up the grid. Everyone is still in line. Oh, who is... I'm kind of tripping myself up here. Stella Henke was getting a little bit twitchy there with that one. Oh, he got a car into the wall. Who's that? It's that one. Yep, one of the guys that was leading the quality session has lost his front wing, but he's still going. I'll pass over to you, Biggs.
I was going to say, I was on board with him. He's just dropping 10 places. He's got to get a new front wing. Absolutely exciting. Pineapple's out. I smashed it right there. There's a huge collision. There's got to be a safety car. There's carbon fiber flying everywhere. Was it at a Lakeside Drive? Yes, it was around the Foster's Wall. That's the first victim this evening. Yeah, so two of them. Pineapple's out. We got that one. Virtual safety car, not a full.
Yeah, it might switch to a virtual or a full safety car, but I did kind of call it there just before we started off, Biggs. We could get a very early safety car. Virtual it may be, but it's still a safety car nonetheless. That one is into the pits, of course. Works out perfectly to a degree for him. He had a disaster start losing that front wing, but virtual safety car slows everyone down. It's going to really minimize the effect it will on that long pit stop. And the longer this VSE stays out, the more it suits that one. So he's not completely out of this race just yet. We also had I Am Furious, which is never true because I'm never furious. He's just out of the pits as well onto a set of fresh mediums. Still a virtual safety car. It's quite extended, although if it was going to switch, I would have expected it to switch much sooner than, already I would expect. So, probably when we get closer to the end of this lap for Jammy, I would expect the VSC to come in. And it's kind of like everyone's going to calm down just for a brief second to be let loose once again. The Bulls will be let loose at Melbourne to do it all over again. Everyone's getting bunched up. Well, they're not getting bunched up as such, but here we go. The VSC is over, and so we are back on running once again. Menovo Beaver is just within a half a second behind Jammy. Gotta keep an eye on this. Oh, we got a yellow already. Who's that? Sector 2. It's Furious. He's just out of the pits. Fresh set of mediums, and he's round again. That will not do his tyres any good. Oh, who is that? How can you pronounce that name? MEM, number P19. No front wing. It's all kicking off here, Biggs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Action all over the place. So a few people in the pit lane, you can see winners, gainers, and losers. I was actually on board the nice little battle that's occurring between P11 and P12, 13. Around there somewhere. Oh, that's somebody off into the wall. I think that was Lavi. Yeah, that's Lavi. So that's Lavi getting some damage. A lot of people are getting damage. That's why the pit lane was quite busy. It's very busy at the back of this pack here at the moment. Futuristic has gained 6. The man that... Oh, that's George around. George Ionides is around out of... geez, that was early. That was out of Hellas, I think. He had a hell of a time coming out of that corner. Wow, there's action all over the place, mate. This is what's going to happen. Look out for T4 tomorrow for SLR. It's going to be... This is like a rehearsal for what's going to happen perhaps tomorrow.
Could be, man. And just to pick up on I Am Furious, he's quite lucky he didn't cause a safety car there because he did retire on track. One of the 7 deadly sins in league racing, resetting the track and retiring on track. He's lucky he didn't bring out a safety car. I'm actually quite surprised. Oh, we got another yellow in sector 3.
Ice Sweat, I think. Well, wait,
no.
Key. Can't find them. I can't when they're dropping left, right, and the same.
It was Ice, yes.
Ice.
What I mean?
He's not ice cold anymore, mate. He's in trouble.
Well, those tires will definitely not be ice cold. They will have cooked. I wonder, is he going to come in? Let's see if he comes in. Is he going to come in? He is. And Lavisole is in as well. They're all pitting here. They're all losing bits of their front end wing. You see, Biggs, this is what I said. It's something about this year's track. It is notoriously difficult to keep it on track. I find, anyway. Maybe I'm just lacking talent. But these guys are experiencing it as well. It's not so much each other they have to worry about. It's the track itself. It is. But that's the thing, Biggs. It's such an old school track for me. It's so unforgiving. A little bit of mistake and there's a wall ready to gobble you up.
Yeah, those fences, mate. Those walls there. They're nasty. They bite like everything else bites in Australia. It can hurt. So I'm just trying to keep in mind that Merlin at the moment has gained 10 positions of the AlphaTauri and got Mr. Agfar up the road there. Let's see if we can get him as he comes out the side of the Lakeside Drive. I've got the battle for this position graphic at the moment. He's going to have that DRS activation. No, not here. But he will get the DRS activation if they get through here of these turns at 10 and 11 and keep it out of Foster's wall. Now the DRS should be activated any second. There it is. Rear wing open. Will it gain? Not enough as they're going to go into Marina and climbing into, Ascari.
Yeah. That one had a hurry moment there on those hards, Biggs. He nearly lost it, but he managed to get the move done on Tilda. Tilda seemed to be struggling a little bit in this track. As Johnny sets the fastest lap so far. And it doesn't help Beaver either getting that early penalty because, in the likelihood of a late safety car, that will come back to bite him.
Look how close Joel is getting on the back of Fox too. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the battle there. He's still got Mr. Mano keeping the Yami close for comfort and keeping from the DRS, and like Merlin, I think I passed the Jagerfeld there, but I'm still seeing this battle. Haven't they done that between P8, P9? Yes, no, they're side by side. As they go around the Sports Center, Merlin's still keeping ahead just by the skin of his teeth. 2 battles going on that are really close, Fox and Joel, and this one, 8 and 9. And if Mr. Beaver up there wants to make an overtake, he has to let us know in advance so that we can get the camera on him. And I think at the moment the Agfo's just backed off a little bit. We'll see about Joel further up the road if he can kind of do anything. But then again, might have to go up to the front. But there's also one thing that's next to, well, we've got a ghosted car as well. They're already lapping a back marker of M&M. But let's see about Beaver right now. Go on board with the Aston Martin. This is very, very close. Currently at the moment to Yami. So do you reckon he can get him down this little DRS straight? Is he going to come around the final couple corners? Get a good launch?
He might get him. It depends on how much battery Yami's got and how much he deploys. He is deploying. So this DRS will help him catch up. It's going to be a late send because of this gap. So he'll not do it here if he's smart. He'll wait for the second DRS straight here. This is where he's going to try and want to do it. But it's such a short run down to this line. Yami is covering off. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Who was that further back? Don't know. Yeah, Yami's doing a good job here with this battery deployment from what I'm seeing visually.
That's a safety car.
Safety car!
There it is. You got it. You wanted it. It took a little bit, but it came. And that's because there is a car off. And if I go back to one of the back markers there, it's down. It's down. Geez, I'm a little bit too far back on that one, but you can see it on the track map. It's outside of Brabham, so they've lost it outside of turn 2, and the car's being removed. So safety car. That's our free pit stop. I'm going to show those tires for you guys now. So the soft guys have to box. Tilte's just boxed. Icewind, because they've just came around that corner, whereas the rest of the field where Yami, as you can see, they've all passed the pit lane, so they have to go all the way around again. And where's that safety car? The safety car's hovering somewhere. On the track map, I think it's that yellow dot there. So that safety car's essentially where the accident was from Eminem. Just retired from the session. Wow. Action all over the place, mate, hasn't it?
Yeah, man. And like again, like these early penalties will come back to bite these guys. I mean, there's still plenty of the race to go yet for everyone else to pick up penalties, but you do not want to be getting, you don't want to get penalties, full stop, but you don't want to get them so early because it really plays. It's like it's a mental battle with you, getting these penalties because you're thinking, well, can somebody else get a penalty, please, please, please? But if nobody else around is getting penalties, then you're kind of pressurized to push even harder to try and not only catch them, or if you're ahead, to try and extend the lead so that you cover your penalty if you're ahead, and then that runs the risk of crashing out. So penalties. Oh, ice wind. He gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Neko
60, yeah.
5 seconds, man.
60 kilometers an hour, mate. It's a slow. They are increasing it to 80 this year, so perhaps they didn't get the memo because they're making it so you can get into that pit lane entrance quicker, so that they can decrease the pit lane time around here, which is about 21 seconds. Now, I've stayed in the paddock pass area just above the Ferrari garage in the past.
Oh,
about $4,000 and change later. Not worth it. I mean, for the access to the pit lane and all that sort of jazz, and I got to see the drivers, and walking down the hallway, I'd see Kimi Räikkönen walk past, and as he goes to the his area and stuff. Yeah, but for excitement to watch the race, nah. You end up watching the monitors more than anything else, of course, because the cars are just screaming down.
Yeah.
And then it's exciting because I had, the Drive to Survive, when you have the bird's eye camera that looks straight down on the, that's how I looked straight down the Ferrari garage.
Oh, cool.
So that was exciting, obviously, to see that. But I think it's turn, I can't remember where I used to sit. Between maybe turn 6 or something like that, I just camped a little chair up on the hill. It was a great spot for action. I think it was around there because you see them fly down Lakeside Drive and all that. Anyway.
For me, I've never been to a real Formula One race. And do you know what, man? I don't think I would want to, because just kind of what you're saying, you can get so much, you can see so much on the TV screens, but also you get the commentating, you get to hear the team radio, and you get updated of what's happening much better. I think it's a bit like, if you watch those nature programs, I love nature, I love my wildlife programs, and you can see them zooming right in on birds of prey or whatever, and they're eating, and you're like, oh wow, that's cool. I'm gonna take a first plane flight to Botswana and go and look at them myself. You can't get anywhere near them.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's something. It's something else. But yeah, I guess if I was to, hint sponsors out there, give me a free ticket to any of the races in the paddock pass, I'll sit there in the room, obviously, where they have the dining and all that, and I'll commentate the race for them while everybody's sitting there watching on the monitors. How about that?
I wouldn't mind tagging along and assisting.
Yeah. I've got some young commentators coming up, mate, about 12 and 13 that are fantastic, and I swear they'll be the future Crofties. And I've already said to them, I said, when you are that future Crofty and you are commentating these races, don't forget the old bigs here. Yes, all I want is some paddock passes and some tickets to some events, and I'll be like, hey, don't forget about Tipsy Bob as well.
I'll be here, man. I'll be well dead by that stage. I'm already old.
Oh, mate, don't you like 5, 6, 7 years or something? Maybe that'll be alright.
What? I'm 37 in March, man.
Yeah, you got plenty of time, mate. People lived 120 these days. You're all right.
Not me.
So that's our first safety car. As to be expected. So that's only 3 retirements. So some of those penalties, they are 3 seconds. I'll show them up on the screen there. 5, of course, for Nico, this Ferrari driver on board. Drive-through for Icewind. So Ferrari not having a very good day here at Albert Park. Tilt Day also with 3. You can't get those removed. Look at that. The man leading this race currently at the moment has yet to make a pit stop. But he's gained 18 positions, of course. What do you think his tyres would be like? I can tell you right now if you want. They're...
well...
Tipsy.
You can tell me what his tires are like, and I'll tell you some. Oh, inlet stop. This is going to be an absolute. I was going to say the S version of poo. This is going to be an absolute poo show for Merlin because he's going to on these old softs with these very rapid guys behind him on mediums. This has the potential for carnage.
Yeah, it will. And there's his tyres, so they're about 50%. So he's elected to stay out and gain some positions, but he's got that man, the fastest man on the track, the fastest man that smashed the pole position. Now he's going to get ready for green flag racing here in Albert Park, and look at that already. But there's a challenge as well, too, for Mano on the back of Yami, and they're going to be exactly held up by Merlin, who has to brake a little bit earlier than everybody else because his tyres are absolutely straight. Barbecued, and there's Yami! Yami's going around! Yami, our race leader, essentially, has gone around, and there's carnage everywhere. Oh my god, unbelievable. Futuristics also losing a couple of positions, says a George. We got Tilte and Lavi battling it out. I don't know where to go at the moment. We got Agfar as a teammate. As teammates, both the Williams now are holding up. The McLaren is going to try to sneak it up the inside between two Williams, but that's the thing. Can you? Can you? The Williams are working together. They're going to basically become blockers. Mate, I hope this is probably going to wake you up right now. This is action pack all over the place in Albert Park.
This McLaren on the Williams, he's going to try and do them one by one, which is the way he has to do it. He does get past the first Williams. He's now got the second Williams in sight, but hang on a minute. What's going on behind him? Agatha and Chief are fighting as well, so Futuristic, gets past Agatha. We've got Joel's a 3-second time penalty. I kind of predicted that start. Sadly, Jamie lost out. Now it kind of makes it much easier now for Beaver because he's only just got Merlin on those much older softs. Justin, who should be really capitalising this, he should be pushing up as best he can. Of course, Menno will not wait. I wouldn't imagine he'll wait for DRS. He'll try to get this done earlier than that.
Futuristic and Agford going for it side by side down the main straight. We're on board with Ocean Chief. Ocean Chief's T-Cam looking at this. Ocean Chief is going to be thinking about probably getting them into turn one. That's going to be a bit risky. And the Chief is better out behind him as well, too. There's an overtake. Oh, coming thick and fast into turn one here in Albert Park on lap 10 of 29. And I think at the moment we should have a change for the lead. He's right there. He's right next to him. But no, Merlin is still holding in there as long as he possibly can. But Beaver can drive around the outside of him and gets it done finally. But he held him up for some time, didn't he? Absolutely held him up.
I'll tell you what, Merlin's doing a great job here so far of defending on these much older softs. It's getting tight, and what's going to happen is the more this battle goes on, the closer Justin gets to Beaver. It's going to have a psychological effect on Beaver, and he's going to end up sending it. Anything can happen when you send it, especially in Melbourne. DRS will be activated, I think, next lap or after the end of this lap. So yeah, Beaver is definitely going to be, infuriated by the fact that he's stuck behind Merlin. But look, Merlin is more than entitled to battle for this. He's currently the P1 position now.
Yeah, it's great to see. Justin's now going to try to do something about that. But Merlin's back into the lead of this race, believe it or not. You said, what a fantastic job. Now, if a safety car comes out for him, he's like, yes, yes, yes. He'll be like, thank you very much. There was also a pass there before of Yami. He's got past there, Lavisol. You believe it or not, some of those drivers are on that tyre that we won't talk about, that you do not want to even think about using. Beaver can't get past Merlin. He just can't. It's crazy, isn't it? Like 4-lap fresh mediums versus old hard. I want to look at those soft tyres right now. I'm going to show you what the graphics are for the cut tyre. They're 59% at front left, mate. They're punished, but he's okay. He's like 59% Biggles. I can do that in my sleep.
Well, the thing is, I'm just looking at their battery. Merlin's not really deploying at all. Beaver deploying a little bit. Of course, he didn't have the DRS, so that probably explains it that neither of them are deploying at that point. But of course, Beaver is going to get DRS, so he'll get DRS.
Netcar's going around, and is that Yami?
Yeah, we got two guys.
Yami's had a bit of a collision with it. I was just going to go back there for a second because it looked like he was going to be ready for an overtake, but they've come together, and wow, Yami's in the walls today. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong, unfortunately, for the Mercedes driver. Ooh. But we'll go back to the start of the field here. The close, tight, action-packed top three. They dropped Fox by about 2 seconds. Go ahead.
What's going to happen here, Biggs, is Merlin is probably going to lose 2 positions in Sector 1. He's going to lose first, second. He's going to lose to Justin and Beaver, I would expect, although he does have a lot of battery. Here we go. Beaver is the first up. Oh, and Merlin is defending. Oh, and he's going to the outside. Justin is keeping a watching brief. Pretty straightforward move here. Now, but Justin will now want to get past Merlin. It's important that Justin gets past him. Pivotally gets past Erlen, and he just about does. Merlin's not backing off though. He's fighting it, but he will have to give way here for Justin. Justin's got the move done. That was pivotal for Justin to keep this fight alive. Yami is pretty much sadly out of this race unless there's another safety car. Our race is between, at the moment, Beaver and Justin.
Yeah, can you believe that? What's your irony? Justin Bieber? Do you think they planned that one? Wow. Absolutely. So Merlin's still going to keep pushing it, risking it for the biscuit. I wonder if he's going to box right now. If he does, that will slot him out quite far back because they're bunched up from that safety car. He'll be behind Yami. And Icewind probably was where he's going to come out because it's a 21-second pit stop. I think he'll get out just ahead of the Ferrari and just behind Yami. But remember, you'll have some fresh boots to go. Lap 12 of 29. Mate, we're not even halfway through this race, and I'm sweating here in Albert Park.
I'll tell you, Merlin basically was one of those drivers that you were talking about earlier on, that you couldn't pay him to put on the hards. Even under the VSC and the full safety car, he avoided them. He's obviously sticking to his strategy, soft medium. I would expect him to come in this lap. He probably stayed out this one more lap because he's got the DRS. We've got a yellow further back.
It's George. George is into the wall, I think, on the last corner. So, yeah, something's happened, come out of Prost.
So, as I was saying, Merlin stayed out here, I think, mainly because he's got DRS, so he's not losing
Joel
too
and
much.
Snelly, sorry. Joel's gone a little bit deep. Snelly's going to sneak that one through there. And that, is job done. Joel's actually lost 2 places. I think that one got one through there, unless it was that one that got the job done on. But there is the overtakes. Those hard tyres, as you mentioned, but that one is on the oldest of hard tyres at the moment, which is still absolutely fine, of course, but not going to have that much pace. And looks like Justin at the moment. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, to see if there's a safety car now. These guys that went straight to the hards, if there is a safety car now, some of them will probably pit for the mediums, because this is kind of roughly the kind of point where you would be pitting for them if you were on the soft medium stint. So it all depends, of course, of how many more safety cars we're going to get. I still believe we're probably going to get another one. There's still a good bit to go in this race yet. But let's see what Merlin does. Merlin, is he going to come in? He might stay out for one more. Yes. You see, I believe as long as he is able to stay within this DRS of Justin, he will stay out.
Look at his front left tyre. I don't know if you can actually see the stream at the moment. There might be a switcheroo at the front there between Justin and...
yeah.
But it's 72%.
Oh,
that's
he's gonna have to
getting in puncher territory. And he's struggling for traction right now. But he's still 2 seconds up the road from Fox.
Joel had an issue there, and he lost a lot of places. He had to give up on the main straight. I think he had a bit of a spin. Oh, yeah, he's suffering from wing. Oh, and he's got no wing. So Joel has lost his front wing, and he's got a long stint now around the track, back to the pits.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you were saying there, Biggs, he is in puncture territory. He needs to pit.
He's still hanging with him somehow along the line. Did he not get the memo that those tyres are baked?
I just think, man, the fact that he's got the DRS is just pulling him along.
That's true. And he's going to have the absolute best tyres. We know that, well, it looks like Joel's lost a couple of places there. Of course, he'll be boxing. But that strategy is going to definitely come into play. Local yellow, don't see anybody off on the track
it's
somewhere.
George.
That's George. Oh, that's Fox. Fox is gone.
Oh, Fox is gone as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see where Fox
safety
is.
car! Safety car! I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hang on.
Look where Merlin is. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say a bad word. Merlin, perfectly timed for Merlin. Look at
yes,
this.
it is. It's of course he has to come in. This is like a cheap pit stop. But then again, everybody else ahead of him will, so that'll kind of counteract it, won't it? He won't, but then he won't lose all those places, will he, from that safety car?
But the thing is, you see, they're all, look at these 5 second or penalties getting. Justin did a medium run in quali, and he's already put on a set of mediums, so that was, I would suspect, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, that Justin will most likely be on a used set of mediums, maybe even Beaver as well, although normally it should say that. I think it should say at least one lap, could be wrong, but definitely Merlin is on brand new fresh mediums, so this is going to get spicy, man.
Everybody is boxing apart from, everybody is boxing, of course. This is the point, because we're just on the halfway bubble of this race. So you've got to get these tyres out of the way with what they are. But that's going to come down to that key, as you mentioned. How many of those U sets are some of these drivers having to slap on these cars right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as we expected, all those guys on the hards, perfect timing for them. Kind of the territory for fresh mediums. So, you know, there could be one of the winner of this race could still be further back. Never discount Icewind. And the fact is, Jamie's still back into this race as well. He's P10, almost half distance to go. Safety car restart. Anything can happen. Plus, a lot of these guys have got penalties. Also, to pick up, I see Leo in chat. Welcome. He's saying, isn't puncture territory around 80%? Yes, usually it is, but it also depends on the nature of the track and how hard you're abusing those tyres, I believe. I've had a puncture once in my whole time I've been racing, and it was in the mid-70s. Not 1970s, of course, that would be in the mid-70s percentage range, although it usually is around the 80s. But look, again, it depends on how you're driving them. He ran them as long as you would want to. I mean, you wouldn't want to go any further than that, really. You know, it's hard to pick, Biggs, about who's going to get this race win. Obviously, Justin is looking pretty good now, no penalties, and he doesn't normally pick up penalties. Merlin has done a great job getting himself up to P3 on his fresh medium, sticking to his strategy, but also Snelle on fresh softs. The thing is, he's going to be wanting to take these pretty long. We've already seen what 13 laps does to your front left. You know, high 70s.
Ocean's boxing, sorry. So it might be serving a penalty. No, he's getting rid of some of those tyres, which is weird. I was just going through those penalties you're mentioning. Snelly's on 8, and that one's on 8. Everybody else is on 3. So they've got 5 seconds slapped to them. That's going to come back and haunt them if they can box and get rid of it, for sure. But that's if they're going to have to box again. Ocean Chief will come out just behind the Ferrari. So there's all your pit stops, and I'm also going to show up there as well. No, yeah, Yami's done a pretty good job, I think, of climbing his way back in. You never give up, you never surrender. But what do you reckon about Snelly and Agfa having the soft tyres when everybody else has those mediums?
Well, yeah, initially it's going to make them incredibly rapid. It's all about making them last, Biggs, because I was saying, you know, we see Merlin taking them 13 laps. So that front left was looking ugly. And effectively, he's going to have to take them. He's going to have to take these softs further. Pretty much, 14 laps, something like that. And he is out using them up now. Yes, he is going slow, but it still uses them up. Waving like this, of course, it wears your tyres. You'll see that percentage starting to increase.
Yeah, I'll show you right now for Snelly. And there's the tyre graphic. So it's 7%. And that's from fresh boots under, 2 laps of safety car. And safety car's in this lap. So this is going to be
7% though, Biggs. This is going to be a tall order for him to get these to the end.
It's going to be fun, for sure. I love it. The safety car spices it up, doesn't it, mate? It does. It throws like a spanner in the mix there when you wouldn't usually box at a certain time, but you have to, because you have to take advantage of it, and all of a sudden your strategy's out the door. All your engineers, Jeff, and everybody are back in the factory are crunching numbers left, right, and center like it's a NASA mission.
Yeah, and the other thing they'll be looking at is the likelihood of another safety car, because a safety car usually brings on another safety car bunched up.
They breed safety cars. Safety cars breed safety cars, exactly. Yeah. Here we go. So I don't want to change the angle of the helicopter camera because you don't get that very often, but I'm going to have to because unfortunately I'm on Snelly and I can't see the leaders. Anyway, I will change it right now. There we go. Oh, and it kept the helicopter cam. I love you, Cody, sometimes. Here we go. He's got a good launch. The Beaver. Definitely, and that's Justin behind him, so Justin is the Beaver and Beaver is Justin, but look at Stelly with those fresh tyres, almost took it to Merlin coming into the first corner. Yami's gained it as well, so he's clawing his way back up here in Melbourne. A few overtakes at the back there, and that's George actually going around somewhere, that is, and there's George. So not a very good day there for the McLaren driver. The
two Williams drivers are fighting side by side in a really tricky section here, Biggs. Agafat goes around the outside and he gets the move done. We got another yellow. Sector 3, oh, who that is? That would be Neko Dishu. That's Neon Dice, I believe. He's retired. He spun on the start. We also got George as well, spun at turn 1. With no front wing, he still survived. Back on.
Keep
with
it on,
Yami.
Yami. He's got to bring on futuristic. He's like, Yami said futuristic. He's like, mate, T microwave, really? Really? He's got past.
But hey man, this is just what I said. Jamie is back in this. He's got the pace on these guys. We clearly seen that. Merlin gets himself another time penalty. So he's just throwing away this race to lead to the guys behind. Justin nicely sitting there with no penalties. That will help him. But he needs to be careful because Jamie is flying through the grids here. Up to P7. He is definitely on course now to catch up with these guys. There's enough of time left, Biggs. He can definitely win this race.
Oh, for sure. We saw his pace during qualifying, didn't it? I mean, he's half a second quicker than everybody else. I'm sure he could do that race pace. But Snelly right now needs to get past and take advantage of these tyres because he's on the softs. He's got Merlin up the road. We know Merlin's a fantastic defender, isn't he? I mean, he was defending on really cooked soft tyres earlier, and he's got some fresh boots on now, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, but Snelly has to try to find a way around somewhere. With the DRS is activated in this lap now.
Yeah, Agatha was like running really deep there. He's probably just keeping focusing on what's going on up ahead. It can take your eyes off the action. Icewind though was at just 4/10 behind Futuristic. Might see a little battle here, and then of course, as you said, that closest battle is Snelly on Merlin. Oh, and DRS will be activated, I think, the next lap. So expect to see moves coming in shortly.
We'll find out. Obviously, it's going to go down into Lakeside Drive and then hopefully keep it out of Foster's Wall, which is surprisingly the boys have behaved. And I'm aboard right now with Merlin looking behind over the rear wing, which is not going to be activated because there's no DRS. He's outside the DRS range anyway, but Snelly didn't get anything.
Icewind's going forward on Futuristic. He's got plenty of botany. I don't think Futuristic's going to fight it too much now. Futuristic kind of was just happy to let him go. Futuristic kind of knows Icewind pretty much overall got the pace on him. If Futuristic can sit here, he's going to get the DRS and he can get tugged along nicely because his main battle is behind him with Lavasole.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to this other battle up ahead, but because that's the one that's getting the soft runners. Snelly can't find his way past, and that's also bringing Agfa into play here. But then Yami's also starting to gain there, and there's multiple battles on track. Gladiators are gladiating their way around Albert Park, that's for sure.
And when you think that Snella is multiple years older than everyone here.
You sure? Is he older than
Yes.
me? Local yellow. That's
Yeah,
McLaren
Snella.
off, and that's George not having a very good time outside of Clark.
Snella is in his 50s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's out driving these young
Yeah,
gladiators.
he's pretty quick.
Overtake from Yami now. That's where Yami likes to get his overtakes done, and he's done it again into turn 9, I think. And I don't know, Yami. Oh, there's a bit of carbon fiber actually on the track there as well. But that's that might hurt Yami actually coming to the next year's version of the game because that's going to be all changed that corner. Joel further back is getting very, very close on the back there of Lavi. Action all around Albert Park. I hope you got your tickets early.
So Yami is just within DRS section. He's really got the boots on, his flying boots on now. He's catching up on the back of Agafa. The problem is, he was able to pick these guys off one by one, Biggs, but he's going to be catching
Keyboard's
up.
going on. Keyboard. I thought you had a puncher there for a second, but yeah, our keyboard driver has had a little bit of an error. He hasn't. Oh, Ocean Chief's gone off the track there a little bit too to let him through. That must be an illegal overtake, I would have to say. Or Chief just being a nice man he is.
Yeah, Agafa Jammy is puncturing what looks like quality not quality times. Oh, and Agafa runs deep again. This seems to be, now, as a driver, and if Jammy is experienced, he will have spotted this quite a few times coming into that corner on the right. Forgive me, I don't know the corner name. Agafa seems to run deep. He seems to be missing his break point there. So that is one to bank in your back of your mind, Yami.
Yeah, Chief is boxing. He might have got some damage from a little bit of a collision that could have been occurring between him and Keyboard. But I'm on board right now with Yami with our little Battle for P5 graphics, courtesy of the Team Telemetry. Free software, of course. You can download it and use it as engineers, broadcasters, race drivers. That one is actually, believe it or not, the quickest man through the first sector. But Yami is up his road. Yami, and all those penalties that apply to those drivers later on, Yami will certainly be looking for a podium here.
Yeah, but the problem is too, Biggs, you can see that he has been deploying like a madman to get into this DRS to the point he has nothing left. Everyone else ahead of him, especially Agafa, has just been harvesting nicely. So this is going to be tricky. He's caught up to the back of these quick boys, but he's going to struggle now getting past. Oh, he nearly loses it. So he's running out of laps, Biggs, to win this race. Certainly a podium is on course, but the race lead, not looking likely.
No, I don't think for the win. Not at all. Justin, that race is looking
Merlin's
good.
having a look at Justin here. Merlin's having a look at Justin. Oh, a late move. Merlin's going for it. A little bit of side barging here, but he's holding on to just enough. Justin does enough just to defend. But Merlin is basically saying, I may have this penalty, but that doesn't mean they're not going to give it a go. He will, of course, get the next DRS section again. He'll have another go at Justin. Oh, and Merlin nearly loses it. He's lost everything, and it's going to lose out to Snelly. Snelly's going up around his inside now as well. Snella gets the move, so that one little... Oh, and he taps the rear of Snella. So it's going from bad to worse for Merlin. And now he's dropping back down further to Agafa. This is going to play right into the hands of Yami. But the thing is, Biggs, that Merlin is going to now get the DRS on Snella. I think he will not hesitate. Oh, he's running deep. Oh, and he's lost it!
Out.
Merlin's lost it! He's off!
That's a Foster's World victim right there. That is a Foster's World victim. Will that call a safety car out?
It might. There's enough laps left for a safety car. Let's see. We're still yellow. These cars still sitting there. Are we going to get a safety car?
Going to see, but the car is currently at the moment on board with the Alpine driver. He's probably, I think he's already passed it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's still a local yellow.
To the car. Massive damage to the car. The whole rear left's done. The whole gearbox and everything would have been absolutely crushed.
Oh, and he was driving, surviving. Snelly's got a bit Snelly Welly coming out of the corner. Agatha can bring this one. As they go down into the sports center. Oh, that's a three-way battle as well, too, because look at that. You got Yali, Agatha, Snelly, and yep, Agatha got past Snelly. And Yami now says, I want a piece of this action. Yami, well, Yami could still win this race right now, mate. He could win this race. He has time.
He does have time. It's just he's got this gaggle of cars in front of him. Snelly and Agatha, and then Justin. I mean, specifically Agatha and Snella, they're on softs. It's going to be really hard for him, but of course, the longer this goes on, the more it plays into Yami's hands, but it may be too late. Realistically, the guy he's racing is Agatha and Justin.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, soon we'll have to start calculating those penalties that are in place, but this is a nice battle. You got to remember that one has also been keeping up this pace the whole time. Unfortunately, next to his name is those penalties. I think it's only 3 seconds, but Yami's getting held up big time. Snelly made a little bit of an error, but he still kept it pointing in the right direction. His teammate Futuristic's down in P9 currently at the moment. We still have Mano leading this race, but he's got penalties. And that's going to bite him later.
3 seconds, Biggs, as you say, and Justin at the moment will be on course to win the race because he's within it. Snella, 8 seconds. He's pretty much well out of contention, of course. But Yami can definitely win this race. He's just kind of being roadblocked almost by these two soft runners, and they're not obliged to move. Yami does have the pace on them. You can see that. He's definitely got the pace on them. Of course, these guys are on these softs. They will be wearing out at a much rapid pace. It'll bring Yami closer and closer, but will he have enough to catch Justin?
Yeah, it's going to be the key, isn't it? Justin, well, if you look at it, he's about 2 seconds down the road from Justin, so it's not a lot. And it's going to come down to the play. Oh, well, Yami's going to do... Oh, that's Yami's overtaking opportunity, but Snelly's closed the door on him here. That's Yami's favourite swap. He's got most of his overtakes have been done around turn 9 Clark. Let's see if he can get Snelly with a DRS, if they can go through turn 11. You can see Snelly's just harvesting energy left, right, and centre. He's blinking like a Christmas tree. He's going to be under massive attack right now. But then again, Yami's got no DRS as well.
And Snella, it would be like, oh, Snella! Oh! He held on to it nicely, so he lost out. He lost out twice, 2 positions there. He didn't, not really much he could do. But Yami, I can understand this. Yami can see it. He sees the Red Bull. That is his real race leader. That's the real guy he has to pass. Because if he passes Justin, he'll already be within the 3 seconds of Beaver. So he can see the race win ahead. He's just 2 cars ahead. Oh, Justin's 3-second time penalty. This is perfect for Yami. Let me see. All he has to do is catch up to the gearbox of Agatha, even past Agatha, and he will win the race on the fact that he has no penalties. I said, Biggs, penalties are going to play a massive factor in this game, and it will.
You're right, exactly. I was about to get over there and start talking about the penalties because I have all the warning information up there. I was just checking the tyres. About 41% currently for those soft runners of Agatha and Snelly. But Yami's the one that's looking really, really solid, as I mentioned, because, well, then again, Yami is also himself on a couple of warnings, so he could get slapped for 3 seconds if he doesn't be careful, and so is the man that's ahead of him on the soft tyres of Agfa. So they are on the borderline right now of also joining the 3-second club.
Yeah, so at the moment, Yami is 4.2 seconds from the lead. Of course, that will not be enough to win, but let's not discount Agfa. He's in P3. He's no penalties, so as we sort of speak of course, he is on those much older, rapidly wearing out softs, so he's still in contention. If he can sit here, well, actually, if he can get a bit closer because he's still outside the 3-second of Beaver, he can win. But
he's 3.7. I've got the gap to leader currently at the moment, 3.6 now. But once again, he's got traffic. The one has been keeping with him the whole time, but unfortunately, the one ends Snelly at 8 seconds. So they're out of really contenders of this one. It's going to come down to Agfa, obviously, and Yami. And if they get a penalty, then it could be game on again between, obviously, Mano and Justin. That racer could still easily win this race if these gladiators get penalties. And you know what it's like in the dirty area when you're racing. Easy to go a little bit wide, brake a little bit later and earlier, and do some corner cutting, and then boom, FIA is going to give you 3 seconds. Here we go. We're on board with Yami, Bob.
Yeah, but the problem is that he doesn't have much battery. He's deploying like crazy, and that's kind of coming back to bite him because he's able to catch up on these guys, but then he runs out of battery because they've got DRS on each other. He's going to go for it here. He's definitely going to go for it, is he? Is he going to send it? Oh, he's sending it on Agfa! Massive move! But the problem is he's got no battery, so he will be dependent humongously on the DRS on Justin. Agfa, of course, has just under half a battery. Now, of course, he'll not know this. If he did, he could play this smart and he could just kind of let Yami pull him along. Now, my goodness, I can't call who's going to win this because Justin is, of course, within the 3 seconds of, according to my screen, Beaver, but he has 3-second time penalty. Yami is 3.2 on my screen, so just outside the P1. Oh my goodness, man.
It's it's absolutely crazy. But I think at the moment, Yami's pace, he could definitely be able to do this, but he's got to, once again, him and Agfa have to be very careful not to get a penalty. Otherwise, that will not fall into their play, as we're seeing a local yellow for somebody around the track at the moment. Action.
It was Lavi. Yeah. Lavi lost it. Back up with the front runners here. This must be humongously infuriating for Yami because he's obviously doing his best to catch up with these guys. Doesn't have much battery, and he knows the race wins there. He's within a tenth. He's within a tenth of Beaver. Oh, and Yami gets himself a time penalty, so it's all reset. It is all reset.
Yeah,
it's Beaver now.
So did Agfa. Agfa also got one as well. So yeah, it's even Stevens now for the top 4 as Justin goes a little too early in P2. Yami's on the back of him. Now you got to get your overtakes done on track. There is no more penalties. That's what we want to see. It's even. It's great. You can see the top 4 drivers are all on 3 seconds. So now you have to get it done on track. And look at Yami. Can he try to get him in turn 1?
Oh, he's going for it. So Justin didn't deploy. So Justin did not deploy there. He let that one go. He's probably going to try and get him maybe here again. No, he's not. Don't know what's happened with Justin. Justin must be struggling on those tires. But as you said, Biggs, they have neutralized the race back to square one. It's all about doing it on track. Yami has a few laps left to catch the guy that he was fighting with from the start. And it's looking so far like Beaver will do it. Although, don't discount Yami. He's got the pace. We're in for a hell of a last couple of laps here, Biggs, to see if Yami can catch up.
Yeah, and I think these soft runners of Snelly and Agfa that are on the soft tyres, and I'll show those tyres. Well, I'll tell you, everybody else is on mediums. Those 2 guys are on softs. There's the tyre performance currently at the moment on the graphic of Agfa. So they're getting 56%, and they're going to start falling off the cliff there on the pace that he needs to keep up with this Top Gun battle that's happening at the front of the field. And obviously with those 3 seconds, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up at the moment there with the pace apps there of Justin that's up the road. Once again, I'll show those tyres for the last time this evening, guys, so you can see 12-12 for everybody there. Only 2 of those drivers on the softs. Then we'll keep the penalties up so we can work out what's happening here.
Yeah, he's 2 laps to go. I think Beaver's got this. Oh, but Yami doesn't indeed get himself the fastest lap, so he rescues that point from Merlin. So a nice win on 9 seconds of penalties. My goodness, that's not been his race.
No, well, that one's an 11, so he's looking to take that Rolex penalty award home with him. And Justin got 6. So Justin's got the extra 1. So that puts Justin out of that third step on the podium. So now it's going to come down to Mano, Yami, and Agfa for your podium positions on the penultimate lap right now. But that's a big gain, isn't it? Like Yami to gain that 2.4, even though he's putting in blistering laps. He shaved half a second out of Mino on that last lap, but it's not enough. You need to be doing a lot more work than that. He can't catch the DRS range. I think the Beaver is going to be burying his way into a victory here.
Yeah, I think the Beaver's got it. The thing what's really hampering Yami is he's got no battery. That is the main thing that's killing him. Agafa, and that one passes Agafa.
Yeah.
So we expected that one. He's on these old softs. Beaver's going to... Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say Agfa doesn't have to worry about it with the penalties from the one up ahead. But yeah, go ahead. So
yeah, Beaver's obviously, I'm pretty sure, of course, as long as he doesn't spin, he is indeed going to get this race win. For the driver of the day, I know it's a bit early. I would still be inclined to give it to Yami because, he had it and then he lost it and he caught back up to get, I suppose, the best he could get, which is P2. He had to fight his way through the traffic. So for me personally, at the moment, he is a good shout for driver of the day.
Well, yeah, sure Agfa probably the driver of the day, I'd have to say. He's gained 7 positions.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah, I've got that up currently at the moment there. But yeah, I mean, the Yami goes back to because Yami's had to fight his way. He's had, had a spin. He's had to take an extra pit stop.
Oh, George retiring on track.
But we'll keep an eye on the Beaver as he's going his way down Lakeside Drive for the last time. Give him a wave to all the fans out there. Just has to bring this one home. Yami's managed to shave 2 seconds. Get that, but can't be enough. Time is not on his side. Even though those positions show that Yami's dropped 1, he did start this race with a blisteringly quick fastest lap. However, he dropped a lot of places and had to crawl his way back up there. So that's why he would definitely have to say get a driver of the day. For sure, because he's had to work. He's going to earn his paycheck today, hasn't he? But this man has done everything he needed to do. He's kept it out of the walls, kept it out of the Foster's wall, and he's won the Australian Grand Prix. Mano de Beaver is victorious. Yami's clawed his way all the way back from what would seem to be the impossible, but that's the reason why you have fantastic drivers that do fantastic results.
Yeah, Kebab does make a good point that Futuristic is the only driver to get no penalties.
Yeah, exactly. And they're in P9. I always say, you guys in leagues, why don't you give an additional point for a fastest lap? Why don't you give one for people that don't have penalties?
Hey, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, that's what I've told leagues in the past, mate, because that is something very, very difficult to do in this game.
Yeah, because I don't normally get penalties, so I'd be all for that. That's me only.
Yeah. But it helps out, doesn't it? Even Stevens is just a point.
Of course.
If you win a race and you didn't get any penalties and you got the fastest lap, well, that's a quad factor, isn't it? Oh, not a trifecta, but a quad.
Because you can say at least that Futuristic is the only man, as Kebab says, that has drove the track 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else has cut it.
Yeah, you guys are in the leagues. You make those decisions. I'm putting it out there. I've been putting it out there for the last year. I've yet to see a league. Agfa gets the driver of the day from Cody's, but I believe, Mr. Bob, that you and me have to agree that... Anyway, that obviously that man gets it. But this man on top step, their early predictions out there said that watch out for him. Oh, wow. Well, watch out for him, exactly. He is one.
You're right. You're right. Sorry, biggest cut across you there. You're right. Agfa did actually do a great job now that you can see it from P12 up. Safety car did come in to help him, of course. Definitely a good contender for driver of the day. But the thing is, I'm just seeing Futuristic from P14 up to P8, and he didn't get no penalties.
Would you like to go through those results for us for the Australian Grand Prix?
The best I can. So we've got Beaver for the Dutchie gets the P1. I suppose at help to a degree of Yami losing out. I think the Belgian would have had it. No disrespect to Beaver, he done a great drive. But yes, Beaver does get the win. And then in P2 will be Yami, also with the fastest lap. Justin comes across in P3 with the Red Bull. Agafa P4, great drive from him starting P12. That one picked up quite a few penalties, I believe. finishes P6, or P5, sorry. Icewind, P6. Joel 7. Futuristic with no penalties brings the Alpha into P8. Snella, the old man himself, drops from P6 down to P9. Still gets himself good points. And rounding up the top 10 is Lavasol, or Lavasole, for the Haas. P11, Tilda, Chief, P12, Keyboard Magazine, P13, George, P14, and I need to click next to see the rest of the guys. Bear with me. Thunder, P15, that would be Neon Dice, P16, Fox, 17, MEM, 18, Furious, 19, and Derogatory Pineapple, a great commentator indeed, is Mr. Pineapple, rounds the grid up in P20.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent, for sure. So that will be that race. Well, obviously the race is over. We're going to get some interviews here in a second, so we'll give him a little bit of a breather. We'll let Mr. Tipsy Bob get his cup of tea. And yeah, don't go anywhere, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, because we will definitely be back to hear what happened down under. Well, I got to get the barbecue fired up as well too, mate, because there's going to be some hungry gladiators ready to eat some kangaroo. Back in a second, guys.
Yes, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. In with the drivers. We have, at the moment, we've got Futuristic and is it Jamie? Yes?
Jamie.
Oh, Jimmy.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah.
All this time I call you Yammy.
Yes.
Yo,
anyway.
Bales, man.
I know. I forget. Sorry, go ahead.
Forgive me, Jamie or Jamie. Man, that was some mega pace you had today. I was really impressed with your pace. And it was looking like you were pretty much going to run away with this race win. And then the safety car came out. that wasn't the big issue, I believe. I think your biggest issue, as what we were saying just before the race start, was the fact that Merlin stayed out on old softs. That was going to create a massive headache for you. We've seen that there was a little bit of a battle. I personally missed what happened, what it caused the spin. So could you give us a wee rundown on that, and then overall just how you felt your race went?
So yeah, the safety car. Actually, I didn't mind the guy. I don't know. I don't remember his name being in front of me, because then I could maybe try to gap Menno, who was behind me and who could stay in the DRS. I didn't mind, but the game updated since last time that you can't, once it says like safety car going in, you can't like do burnouts anymore. So your tires are like really cold, and then I just hit a bad spot on the track, I think, and I just lost it in fifth gear.
Oh.
That's basically what happened.
But then the second safety car came out, and that was almost like your saving grace, because that brought you out on those, I think, those fresh mediums in P10, or maybe they were one lap worn mediums. And then from there, it was just an amazing surge up through the grid. A couple of guys did bin it as well, but man, you really had to like really, properly commit to those moves to catch up on those guys. And we also seen that Merlin and a couple of other guys ahead of you had penalties. You didn't have any. So you were so close. And then, of course, the penalties came in and it kind of neutralized. But one thing I did notice, man, that you were burning a lot of battery. Do you think that kind of played against you near the end of the race?
Not necessarily, because once you're low on ERS, it's better to just keep using it everything, because if you're gonna save, you're just gonna get stuck in the DRS train, which is why I was trying to be really aggressive with the ERS to be able to, like, as you saw, I kind of dive bombed or whatever, outbraked. That's the only way you can do it around here, honestly. Otherwise, you're stuck in DRS train. Yeah, my pace was actually really, really good. I think this could have been a win. And also, I think I can get a warning removed, which will give me the win. But we'll have to see that, and the stewards will decide on that. Otherwise, I'll happily take P2 after that race.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, P2 after what happened to you is, I still think, a great recovery. You were definitely looking up on fire to win that race. But tell me this. Have you signed up? Are you going to race in SLR? Because I think you could do really well in SLR.
I've been league racing since 2019, I believe, and I've driven in SLR a couple of times.
Oh,
but I haven't in recent seasons. I've just been chilling and like more community racing and like one tryhard league. And a friend of mine actually is like Vito, and
oh yeah, Vito.
Yeah, that's yeah.
We saw a video in the chat, mate. There is supporting you, of course.
Chad Vito, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it was my first race in 2S, since like 2019 probably. So
wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Because I'm pulling the standings from the previous race in Brazil with the the driver standing and stuff like that. I'm going, I can't see you in here, Jamie. That's your name. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I don't see you in here.
No, it's it's the first race. I've like last week I was gonna race because I know Brazil is just a really fun track in general. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, iRacing came in the way. So yeah.
I've seen you around before, Jamie. On other leagues and other places, stuff like that.
We know each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody practically knows me.
Coded commentator.
Thank you very much. But yeah, you're proving today. That's the drive to survive. I've said this before. Netflix, forget the real F1. Come and hang out with the esports guys, because this is the drive to survive right now. Nothing can hold you down, mate. You just clawed your way back up there, and and the attitude is great. Like, you're like, yeah, okay, it's fine. I'm sure you might have been like, and when it happened at the time, but hey, it is what it is, and that's great. And
yeah. I don't think it was on stream, but after the incident, I had another one. I don't know if it was on stream, but I lost another 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think I might have caught it. I think I might have caught that because you were just not. I was like, you were not having a good day today, but you did. You tasted the champagne.
Yeah, it was good. It was tastes very nice. Let's hope for another one in the future.
I'm sure, mate. And speaking of future, we have Mr. Futuristic here as well. So, Mr. Futuristic, not the day of days, but from 14th up to 8th. Can't be too unhappy with that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you always want to get the big points, but it doesn't matter when you have your championship rival behind you. So as long as I'm keep outscoring him, I'm happy. So
Exactly. And, well, you are usually Rolex give a time penalty award for the most amount of penalties. However, you got the reverse of that. You got no penalties at all during the whole race, which once again I was talking to Tipsy Bob about. Leagues probably should be awarding an additional point, like not just with the fastest lap that went to Jamie, but also to the driver that manages to get 100% through a race without getting a penalty.
I don't think that would have been so realistic as around some certain tracks, because
Certain tracks maybe you don't do it, but other, like, Austria and stuff like that, that's just like a miracle if you can get that car around that track without getting a penalty. But you did it around Albert Park and the only one.
I mean, I work close sometimes, especially in the chicane. It was so twitchy all the time. Because I think they haven't narrowed it since last game, so it was a bit weird to get used to it with the high curbs and the tight corners. But I mean, I survived and outscored Laviv, as I said. So.
And you're on two warnings at the end, of course, but that's two warnings. You have a third one. That's hard with close wheel to wheel. But what did you find today that was most fun that you had? Because I didn't get to go on you on board, unfortunately, the broadcast too much because there's so much action going on. What was the most fun fighting you had today?
The most fun I had would have been the opening lap.
And that because you gained. I remember you gained a lot. Now you started on the softs. That's right. So you were fighting your way. You had a couple of medium runners in front of you, right? And you gained a lot of positions, I think, from the start.
Yeah, I gained a lot, and after a few laps, luckily the safety car came out on like lap 7, so the medium runners didn't have the opportunity to swarm past me again. So I got a bit lucky in a way, but. Hey, after I saw the spins up ahead and I was like, oh, another position. 5 laps later, the guy who spun. Wait, hold on. Is it? No, it can't be. Is it? Oh shit, it is.
Hang on.
Yeah, they were just too fast.
And today I've got the standings up at the moment. So you're still leading this championship. Now, your main contender, Lavi, unfortunately finished down in 10th. Got a point, of course, but not many more than that. His teammate, Kurte, I'm not quite sure if he was in the race or not, but out of the top 10. So, and then Snelly Hankey finished behind you, your teammate, in P4. So he'll gain a little bit there as well. And your Alfa Romeo team, I think, will now overtake Williams. Oh, no, maybe because Agafa and that one, that'll be something to crunch numbers with. But actually, no, you probably won't overtake them yet. But you're getting close. You're getting very, very close to them. Yeah, and what happened, you were in the chat too with Snelly. He was right up the road, actually, and he had a little bit of a moment because he was struggling, I think, on those soft tyres.
Yep.
But good, I mean, still, good result for you, leading the championship, bringing the car home, getting some points. Going into the next race, how do you feel? And what is the next race, by the way?
It's Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, all right. So from one hot continent to another even hotter continent, well, the chance of rain is probably going to be pretty well. I've had 2 races in Abu Dhabi where there's been rain. You never know.
It's hard to get much out of the Scandinavians, isn't it, Biggs?
I know, mate.
they do their talking on track.
That's exactly right, mate. They put their money where their mouth is and do their talking on track. Yeah. Well, thank you very much there, Mr. Futuristic. I see the future with you perhaps winning the Drivers' Championship. How's that?
Well, that's what I'm aiming for. So
ultimately, Futuristic did a kind of the smartest race that you could do, because he kind of accepted there were guys there that were on another level on their pace, And he kind of just focused, right, I'm leading the championship. And as I said in the race, his main competitor is Lavisole, whom is behind him. That's all he needed to worry about that race, and he done it perfectly. And so overall, I think Futuristic, you did a perfect race on your side. You did exactly what you needed to do. You outscored Lavisole, and you're retaining that lead in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to, at least.
Exactly. And well, actually, just a real quick question though. Well, to double what Tipsy Bob said, you needed to do what you needed to do. From 14th up to 8th was a good result. But obviously, speaking of the 14th, qualifying let you down. What was the issue there?
I don't know. I think it was either the lack of rubber I had on the tires and the heat of it, or it was the setup. I can't really tell. I had to dig down to it.
Well, your teammate at the moment, Mrs. Snelly Hankey, said he'll do everything he can to keep Futuristic as number one. So how's that for teammate? I think we know who the number one team driver is in that one.
He's an amazing teammate, so I couldn't ask for any better.
Well, ask Mr. Ocean Chief as well too in the SLR. He's his teammate. So Snelly's the teammate. Snelly's the teammate, the number 2 teammate that does all the work. But Snelly, I want to see you winning some races, mate, because we know you have the pace. You can teach these young dogs new tricks, per se, from a very experienced man. That'll be it. That'll be wrapping it up there. So, Mr. Jamie, thank you very much. Congratulations on that P2 there, recovery drive of all recovery drives. We didn't get to hear from Mino, the Beaver. Believe it or not, we had Justin and Beaver. Those 2 drivers were battling it out there. So, Justin Beaver, of course. I mean, concerts. They'll probably go visit the concert that we had, that Justin Beaver show here in Albert Park, put it that way. But those are the 3 drivers, as you can see on the screen, that got the podium and got to taste the bubbly here in Australia. Mr. Tipsy Bob, mate, thank you very much. Last minute stepping in here to help out with the 2S commentating because I couldn't get a co-commentator to help me and help my voice and keep you awake. You did a fantastic job, mate. What did you think about this one?
Well, the pleasure was all mine, Biggles. I knew that Australia was going to throw up action, specifically when you get 20 guys on the grid. Given the nature of this, I find more difficult Australia than previous games. I really enjoyed it, and roll on tomorrow. I might be allowed to race tomorrow in Tier 4 because normally I'm not allowed to race there, but I'm struggling so much that they might let me.
I think shout out obviously to if anybody, obviously the 2S and SRR are partners. Like, come on, Tipsy Bob, he jumped on the flight last minute, flew down to Australia and commentated this race. I think he deserves a T4 race tomorrow.
I've been here 5 years. The amount of content I've provided them, surely they can get me.
I think you might have some favors there, right? You can get and I would love to commentate you to try to commentate. No, I won't commentate Kirsty, of course.
I'll flex my muscles in the behind the scenes, see what I can do. No guarantee that I'll be able to do the kind of times Jamie done. Far from it, probably 23s. But alas, I will try my best.
Excellent. The best is all we can hope for, mate.
Yeah. All for me to say really big, to let you wrap it up, would be au revoir, mes amis.
Ooh, el français. El chanté. That'll be fantastic. But it's Australia, mate. So you're like, yeah, Sheilas and blokes and everybody. It's been a fun outback adventure here in Albert Park. And we're going to have some more of that tomorrow, of course, because we do have the SLR Tier 2 and all the other tiers of the SLR. So we'll be in Australia, 2S and SLR will be there all week long. Firing up the barbecue, throwing shrimp on the barbecue, prawns on the barbie, whatever you know what. Cracking a Foster's, of course, and hopefully not into the Foster's wall. We had a couple of victims. But and of course, 2S will be back next week for the ACC racing, of course. That's on the Mondays, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. And then, of course, the continuation of the F1 on our Tuesdays. That's it. Yep. Let's go crack a tinny, fire up the barbecue. That's it. So, thank you very much, Tipsy Bob. Thank you, obviously, from the fantastic team at 2S. The stewards will obviously be stewarding, and the drivers will continuously be driving. So, everybody have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.